good on you. But yeah, I think too many people are letting the manipulated assets, which there were a handful, the manipulated assets, the bot narratives, the ones that have all of the paid influencers and everybody creating this verbal ecosystem of number go up, basically dictate their sentiment around the other assets that didn't have that, right? And so they think, well, this goes up and this is making these people money. And but there's a whole machine behind a lot of that stuff that the majority of the altcoin world doesn't have. Let's be real about it. And the more decentralized an asset is, the less likely they are to have like a pay to play wing that's just paying everybody and their brother to tout these bullshit narratives to pump up the token value. And the thing of it is some of these ecosystems have to do that to survive. I mean, if you look at the cost to run validator nodes and like the expenses, the inflationary numbers and all of that, I mean, they have to keep pumping money into these ecosystems to keep that narrative alive, or the whole thing. I'm telling you, I keep calling some of these chains are an absolute house of cards. And so, and I'm not letting those dictate how I feel about an asset that I've watched prove itself time and time again without all of that paid bullshit. You know, I see my comments sometimes, they're like, oh, I wonder how much Charles paid this guy. Man, Charles has never given me a fucking dime. Nobody in the Cardano ecosystem has given me a fucking dime outside of like, I think, did I do a paid segment at one point for Igon? Maybe I can't remember, but like any time I've ever been paid for anything, as a matter of fact, not only do I always disclose it, but I've always over disclosed it to the point where people are like, man, you're just saying too much. So like, there's never a question, like who's giving me what to do what. And even then, which I hear from Crypto Chef, the people that used to handle my bookings, like even when somebody pays me, it does not mean that I'm going to run out to the internet and tell everyone to buy it. I'm never reading a script. I just don't do that shit. And so, you know, it's like, let's just put it this way. Being brutally honest in crypto doesn't really pay that much. Not for long. But it is what it is, man. Take profit levels and take them when they come. I took some at $1 this cycle, not much, but something. Hey, I mean, that's cool. That's cool. 2025 was rough. It was rough for all of us. I mean, it's 2025 left me in hell, man. Like, I was so stressed out that I had like my nerve, like I had this situation with my nerve where my arm it literally felt like it was being torn out of my shoulder slowly, nonstop, 24/7. The only way I could get relief from the tearing sensation is to put my arm over my head. And this is how I slept every night for like 3 months. I had to sleep with my arm over my head, and mix that with the stress, the just everything that was going on. I mean, we had just sold our house at a loss. I mean, like just everything that I went through, man. I mean, 2025 was absolutely the worst year of my life. Hands down, the worst year of my life. And I'm really hoping that there's some significant relief here in 2026. And I'd much rather it be sooner than later. But, you know, I used to tell everybody, you know, like my therapist, anyone I was talking to, like this year is either going to end me or make me a superhero. And I'm still fucking here flying. So it is what it is. It was a rough year for all of us, but we're all still here and we're all pushing through. And, you know, it's like sometimes, you know, the lessons that we learn in the darkest periods of our lives are the ones that carry us to the best times of our future. And that's what I'm working on now. I'm working out every morning now. I'm meditating with my wife every morning. You know, you can't tell really, but I'm changing again. And I really want to get fit. I'm not going to fight again. I know the questions are coming. I'm not fighting anymore, but I do want to get into really great shape. I want to get into great shape for my wife and for my daughter. I want to be around, and I need my mood to be better. I need to be in a place chemically and physically where I'm not always just feeling terrible all the time, and allowing all of the stresses of my environment, of my trading, of the crypto world and finances constantly bringing me down into a depression and a point of fear because we don't have what we used to have. Not everything is as bright as it once was. How do I deal with that feeling of having been such a failure? And I'm not going to go too deep into this because I don't want to get emotional, but it's been really, really rough for all of us. And we're working through it, and it is what it is. You know what I mean? We just have to just work. It's challenging, but that I do believe is also what brings out the core of who we are. I feel like I've spent so many of these last years in a trance to a large degree where almost nothing was real, and it's really hard to explain that. But I mean, from even if I go back to 2017, when I started YouTube, and I turned $3,000 into 90 grand in 60 days, and it was just like that, and it's like, holy shit, and oh my god, there's this whole new technology, this whole new world. I want to make it a part of my life. This is what I'm going to do, and I did that, and then that 90 grand became like $500,000, and and that was like my first 6 months in crypto. And it's just like at a time where you could throw a dart and be a genius, and then you want to help everyone.